Thank you for tuning in, and welcome to everybody here. People, great to have you in front of us, then also certainly thousands listening online. My next guest, John Mattison, Dr. John Mattison from Kaiser Permanente in Southern California. You're the Assistant Medical Director in CMIO. Fantastic. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
When did you get in town?
I got in Sunday night.
Excellent. That's the common answer. We're looking for themes here from all of our guests, and I think the actual common theme for when everybody get in town was Sunday night. I actually got here Monday morning. I'm the oddball out. But I actually knew that when I was booking my reservations. I'm like, I think I'm getting there a little bit late. I usually come in because we always have a board meeting on the day before HIMSS actually starts, but this year I elected not to go to that meeting, so I came in a day later. But I'm glad that you're here and glad you could join the show today.
Thank you.
So my goal here, certainly over the 3.5 hours today and 3.5 hours tomorrow, is to pull out, what's happening in our communities across the country. Certainly when I talk to provider organizations. So again, very happy that you could specifically join us because of Kaiser in Southern California. But what trends are you seeing in your community? What top three trends are you seeing across your community today?
That's a tough question. Top three trends.
Well, healthcare or health IT, I would say.
Okay. Well, I think there's a lot of chatter about population health as the first trend. I actually don't like it. I think it's an obsolete...
Well, no, I like it from the standpoint I like when you see chatter, because I agree.
I think it's an obsolete construct. Yeah. I think in the world of personalized medicine and the evidence we have for social determinants of health, that we need to focus much more on community health and personalized medicine rather than population health. So we've been doing population health for decades, and it's been very powerful. But now that we have so much more digital information, we really can personalize our care and treat individuals rather than diabetics. And we're also looking at the social determinants of health and making every effort we possibly can to improve the communities in which not only our members live in, but the entire communities, because there is so much evidence that the demand on healthcare services, so everybody talks about the supply and reorganizing healthcare delivery and the Accountable Care Act, and those are all moving in the right direction. But on the supply side, but on the demand side of the disorders of lifestyle, obesity, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, stroke, so forth, those are lifestyle consequences, and they're community health issues. And so I think population health is really old news and obsolete news and should be replaced with personalized medicine and community health.
No, that's fantastic. So looking out, how are you guys addressing specifically? Because now you are a little bit different being Kaiser. You do have a lot more, you're farther along than those organizations for sure. But so how are you guys addressing specifically those trends that you mentioned and other opportunities in healthcare?
We started building our analytics team a long time ago. Even before we had a national health record system, we had aggregated many terabytes of data to really personalize our care. The health record has amplified that capacity, and we have a very sophisticated team that does natural language processing, and so we can not only mine the discrete data that we've had for many decades, we can now mine the textual data and begin to use that information for much more personalized care. So we're moving forward on the analytics side. We've always had a large database to mine, but we're increasingly taking advantage of text mining capabilities and some of the new analytic platforms. So a lot of progress in that space. And our quality outcomes really reveal that as well. So if you look at any third-party evaluation of the outcomes that we're achieving, it directly reflects our investment in information technology infrastructure. No question, we could not have arrived at the level of care our members receive without the support we have. So despite all of the concerns about usability, and they're real, the net effect for our members has been very positive, and we have no regrets about our investment in health IT infrastructure.
So you mentioned personalized medicine, obviously with the President's Summit last week, and there's so much going on around that, but are you deploying that today, or do you see that on your horizon in the next year or two, even in your community?
Personalized medicine is more of a concept than a delivery protocol. What we've done increasingly for many years, as I mentioned a moment ago, is that we have been giving therapeutic options that are much more adapted to the individual person. there's this movement from patient-centric care to consumer-centric care. I like to think of person-centric care because people live in communities and have lives outside of their health, but their lives outside of their healthcare issues drives a lot of the healthcare issues. So when I think of personalized medicine, and I'm very actively involved in the world of genomics, and I work with the Global Alliance for Genomics and Health for global collaboration around understanding the impact of the genome on health, and working with others on the effect of the microbiome as well. But if you look at how you can deploy that in a systematic way, there's many, many different ways that you can approach that. But the most important thing is that you recognize the whole person, not just their genome, not just their phenome as represented in the medical record, but their social context. And what are the things, if you ask a patient, what is it that most concerns you now? You can really begin to get at what the issues are that are driving health problems and personalize care in a way that resonates with the individual, because a lot of the effort in the industry right now is to get better compliance with medical recommendations, and people will comply with what resonates and makes sense with them. And if you don't address the whole person and you only address 250.0 diabetes, you are missing the boat. So our personalization of care is not just knowing them better from a clinical perspective, but from a whole person perspective, understanding that mind, body, and spirit are all very relevant to health outcomes and trying to address that. Now, that said, with the time pressure that is affecting every clinician in the country right now, that's a tall task. That's a very tall task, but that is clearly our objective. And much of what we do as an organization is invest in community resources like farmers markets and safe walkable parks and things that allow communities to have better access to the resources that allow them to lead healthier lifestyles. And so much of what we're doing and much of what I like to focus on is how do we use modern technology to restore the ancient wisdom about healthy living.
So we have about 30 seconds left. What are some of the best practices that you would offer? Maybe a companion CIO or director, medical director in Austin or in Atlanta, but what's the best practice that you might share with some of your peers out there in the industry that you've learned over the last several years where you're in Kaiser in Southern California?
So many to choose from. Wow. There's not one that jumps out at me. But
what you're going to do this year, is there a best practice that you're going to deploy this year that you can share with other people in 2016?
We're doing a lot of things, but I think probably virtual care is the biggest thing on our agenda. And I like to think of three types of virtual care. One is I want to follow up with my doctor on the surgery that I just had. The second type is I want any doctor like now because I have a question I need to deal with. And the third type is store and forward, where a patient is discharged from the hospital and rather than getting a checklist of things they're supposed to do, actually creating a personalized video. So we haven't started that yet. But that's something that I like. We haven't started the personalized video at discharge. Right. That's something I'd like to see happen. But we are getting very aggressive in our rollout of the virtual care services, whether it's telephone appointments or video visits. We've already have 25,000 to 30,000 email exchanges between our members and our doctors every single day. And we have a lot of text messaging applications that are helping support healthy choices. So there's a lot happening in the virtual care space, and I think that that's probably going to evolve very rapidly for at least the next decade.
That's fantastic, and that's great advice. It's an area that I'm personally passionate about. I brought up with a couple of my guests here. So John, thank you very much for joining us on air today, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the show.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.